Hello there, my sports travel friends, domestically and across the world. It's Mr. Sports Travel in the Evergreen state, which borders, Canada. So welcome my Canadian friends to my YouTube channel. It's the 50 States Tour, in parentheses, the batshit crazy one. Mr. Sports Travel celebrating each of the 50 states because he's turned 50 and has been road tripping for more than 25 years. On the road for OperationFirstResponse.org, 100% self-funding my trip for this 501c3 charity because they help our vets, service members, first responders, and their families. And if you know my story, my late father was in the Air Force, got me into sports and travel, and he served our great country in the Air Force. Freedom is not free. Please donate $50 today to OperationFirstResponse.org, and I will help you plan your next sports road trip. And folks, I'm pretty good at this stuff. People have been buying my spring training guides, for example, since 2000. That's 22 years ago. You can see the reviews on my website. As they say, you can Google me. I am Mr. Sports Travel, the everywhere man, for a reason, because I've been everywhere, including here, and I'll tell you where I am momentarily. And for that $50 donation, I'll help you plan your road trip. Are you a baseball guy? Ballpark trip, I'll help you. Football, you want to see some college and NFL? I'll help you. Where do I get tickets? How do I save some money? What do I see for tourism stuff? How about March Madness? How about hockey? You like golf, or you know auto racing. Heck, if you want to go to China for ping pong, I'll help you plan your trip, because I've seen sports in more than 35 countries. I got you covered, okay? I'm the man to help you plan. Please donate $50 today to OperationFirstResponse.org, and via email, over the phone, in person. I'm flexible, however you want to do it. Whatever questions you have, I'm the man to help you plan. I will help you plan for that donation. Or a friend you designate. You want to do it for a friend? Makes for a great gift. A lot of fans will buy my online guides, baseball being my favorite guide, the spring training guide, the MLB guide. But fans have bought my college hoops, hockey, football guides. College football is a big guide. They'll buy it for a friend. Father's Day, you know, for dad, friend for a birthday, son for a birthday, daughter for a birthday. So let me help you plan your road trip, okay? Now, each of these videos celebrating each of the 50 states, including DC. First sporting event in that state that I've been to, because I've been road tripping for 25 years. Most recent sporting event and favorite sporting event in the state. Now, first of all, the big story with each of these videos, I have a backdrop with the cat, except for the Mississippi video because it was raining cats and dogs. It was the only night I was there. And if you want to see someone suffer in the rain, watch the Mississippi video. If you want to see someone suffer in the wind, watch the Maine video. No, check that. Watch the New Hampshire video, the Minnesota video. Mr. Sports Travel, the things he'll do for his flock of sports travelers. Of course, none of which are friends on YouTube. Please become my friend, by the way. Haven't spent a lot of time on the social media, folks. I'm learning the social media. I'm new to it. I'm an old school guy. I'm a handshake, hug kind of guy. Not in the perverted Mario Cuomo way or Andrew Cuomo way. In a nice, polite, Catholic boy way. Ask my mom, okay? Now, each of these videos. First visit of the state, favorite visit, most recent visit. Let's get on with it. Mr. Sports Travel. Where are you? I am at the McCarthy Athletic Center, and the wind is picked up. Sorry, folks, it is what it is. McCarthy Athletic Center. What is that, Mr. Sports Travel? Well, it's really known for the school's nickname as the Bulldogs of Tonga, ladies and gentlemen. And of course, I'm in one of the greatest small and medium-sized cities in the great country of the United States of America. I'm talking about Spokane, Washington. Of course, I am talking about the kennel for the Gonzaga Bulldogs. One of my elite 8 for best game day atmospheres in men's Division I college basketball. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. The kennel's behind me. Now, it doesn't look terribly impressive on the outside, does it? Looks new. Look carefully, ladies and gentlemen. You can see the roof, the white roof. It has kind of, when you're on the inside, it's kind of like a barn-style feel. Kind of like a miniature version of Williams Arena at Minnesota, University of Minnesota. Now, it's not that old school, so I don't want to compare it exactly with Minnesota, just in terms of the roof design, okay? But really what makes this place stand out is good luck getting a ticket. First of all, it only seats 6,000, and that's primarily because Gonzaga basketball, this university is not a big university. This enrollment here is not like Boston College, and they're not in the Atlantic Coast Conference. They're in the West Coast Conference, as of this video. So it only seats 6,000. And these guys have been so successful, as many college basketball fans know, for so many years. It's like every year Gonzaga is at least in the Elite 8. In many cases they're going to the Final Four or playing for the championship. And one of these years they're going to win it. It's 2022 right now. So chose this video because I'm going to get to one of my favorite experiences in a second, but you're kind of getting a hint, right? The kennel here in Spokane, Washington, that's where I am. Now, Talk about your first visit to the state, Mr. Sports Travel. I will do that. 1999. Saw the Mariners do ballpark, then known as Safeco Field. It was a Sunday night game on ESPN. I remember the great John Miller, who did TV for ESPN back then, was on the field pregame. I actually interviewed him years later. Hell of a nice guy. And one of the best, to my opinion, I'm biased, best radio broadcaster in baseball. Not even close. He actually calls the game, tells you what inning it is. There's nothing worse than listening to a radio broadcast. What inning is it? You know, they think we're listening the whole time. We're not. We're in our cars, dude. No one's listening the whole game. Few people are, most people are. So anyway, John Miller, love the guy. So that was my first sporting event, the Mariners. And on that same weekend, I saw the Storm, the WNBA team. This is 1999. And on that same weekend, I saw everywhere around the world, speaking of the American Flagmobile, the great Neil Diamond in concert, also at the Key Arena. So I flew up from San Diego, stayed only one night in Seattle, Saturday night. Flew back, I think, on the last flight, because it was like 5 o'clock, ESPN game, West Coast time. Jetted off to Seattle, didn't even have a rental car, stayed at a youth hostel. Yeah, Mr. Sports Travel was not packing the coins back then. So no rental car, just stayed in Seattle proper, but saw 2 sporting events and the great Neil Diamond. So that was my first sporting event to the great state of Washington in 1999. And that was as I was on my quest by the end of the year to see all 30 MLB parks. My dad had died earlier that year, and in memory, I sort of did that achievement. Saw the final 30th ballpark, and it was then known as Bank One ballpark in Phoenix, and the Padres were there. I lived in San Diego, as many of you know. And the Padres were playing the Diamondbacks that final series. I want to say October 1st, 2nd, 3rd. Mr. Sports Travel was there, and that was my first real milestone for all these sports travel things, all the MLB parks. The biggest one I did earlier this year, saw more than 20 and nearly 25 years later, saw all the Division I men's basketball and women's basketball. Did that in 2022. That was a milestone. So Gonzaga is in my Elite 8, by the way, for game day atmosphere, right up there with all the blue blood programs. So that was my first visit to the state. How about my most recent visit? Well, I'm on this campus for a reason. Probably about 30, 40 minutes ago, I saw the ending of a baseball game here between Gonzaga and Santa Clara. They're in the West Coast Conference. Santa Clara's in the Bay Area. Baseball game. And I'm trying to see a game at every Division I baseball venue. I'm almost done with that one too. Done all the basketball. As of this video, about 5 short on the football, 2 short on the hockey. They'll go to Alaska. That'll be the last state on my road trip this year. The 50 states tour, plus DC, seeing a sporting event in each of the 50 states. So that was my most recent visit here to see Gonzaga baseball. Now, what about my favorite visit? I can tell you right now, from a basketball perspective, this is my favorite visit. Saw the Kennel here, first game, 2011, been back multiple times. This is the best venue to see a college basketball game. So if you're a college basketball fan, if I had an Elite 8, you know, if we had brackets for game day atmosphere only. If we had a West bracket, in that bracket, number 1 seed is Bear Down, Arizona. Number 2, you're looking at it right here, the Kennel. And that'd be a heck of a matchup, Bear Down and the Kennel. I'm going to give Bear Down an edge. If you've ever been to Tucson, that's a great place to see a basketball game. So those are my 2 faves in the West. You know, obviously there's the Kansases, the Dukes, the Kentuckys, the North Carolinas. Those are fantastic. They're not in the West. I'm talking about the West. So that's my favorite experience here in the West, coming to see a game here, men's basketball. But I got to give some love to the football, because I've been blessed not only to see every Division I men's and women's basketball venue. By the way, when I say women's, you know, about 20 programs plus or minus. The women have a different venue than the men. Example, Kentucky. The Kentucky women, a lot of people don't know this, play at the old Rupp Arena, known as Memorial Coliseum, which is a great venue, by the way, in Lexington. So I've been there, and I've been to Rupp. Both been there multiple times. So that was a big milestone, the college basketball. Probably the biggest of my sports travels in my 25 years. The first was the MLB we just talked about. Well, I've also been lucky enough to see every NFL stadium. And so this is where I'm going with this. And I've been to all the Division I college football ones, except for the 5. They're all not in the elite. I haven't been to Texas Tech, UTEP, New Mexico State, Utah State, the new UNLV, where the Raiders are. In fact, I got to get to the Raiders Stadium. And then Sam Houston State and Jacksonville State are going D1 in a few years. So those are the 7 I haven't been to as of this video, but I'll knock them out this year. Because it's the 50 states tour. I turned 50 this year. and I'm being selfish and sports traveling like I'm on steroids, although I've never done steroids. Now, let's get back to the NFL. Having been to every NFL stadium, Green Bay, I love you. Pittsburgh, love you. Be More, Charm City, I love you. New Orleans, love you. I'm sorry, folks. There is no louder venue in the National Football League than Seattle. Off the charts. Now, never saw a sporting event at the Kingdom. Never saw baseball, never saw football there. Wasn't as well-to-do as they say back in the late 90s. But I've been to Seattle's new football stadium, or new, current football stadium. It's not new anymore. I was there for the home opener, and this was 2008, my first time there. I'll never forget this. The game hasn't started yet, folks. Like, the players haven't gotten on the field yet, so the fans are getting ramped up. They got the Jumbotron. But again, the players haven't even taken the field yet. I couldn't hear myself faintly. I'm on this seating bowl, lower seating bowl, a little bit over the field level. I never experienced that noise before, and to this day, having seen sports in more than 35 countries, 6 continents, every NFL, every NHL, every NBA, every MLB, as I just said, every college basketball video, been to the Final Four, been to all the big sporting events. There's nothing like a game in Seattle for football. The noise level is off the charts. Now, you don't need earplugs, but, you know, you may not hear the person next to you. Okay? Unbelievable atmosphere. So that, I would say, from a football perspective, best game day atmosphere in the state of Washington. Go to see a Seahawks game. I'm going to give a little honorable mention, not taking sides in the Apple Cup. I like Washington State, but has a great former basketball venue that's used by women's volleyball on Washington State's campus. Great old school venue. But the football stadium and the basketball gym at UW, University of Washington, those are fantastic. But game day atmosphere, not the same as Seattle. On the basketball side, not the same as the Count. It just isn't, right? So there you have it, folks. Most recent visit to the state here at Gonzaga. Favorite visit, Gonzaga for the hoops, Seattle for the football, and my first visit to the Emerald City, 1999. Wind has died down, sun's peeking out. Mostly overcast today in Spokane, one of the great small cities in America. If you ever, sports cities, small medium size, whatever you want to call it, you're going to get a chance to come here. The minor league baseball team draws well, fantastic ballpark. The hockey team here, the minor league hockey team, the Western Hockey League junior team, they draw well, fantastic downtown area. The 3-on-3 basketball tournament here is off the charts. And Gonzaga basketball, you can't go wrong, ladies and gentlemen. They had a great crowd today for the baseball. Great crowd. Probably one of the better venues in the West Coast Conference for baseball. There's some good teams in that conference. You've got Pepperdine. Pepperdine won the national championship years ago. You've got San Diego. You've got Santa Fe. You've got some good venues in that conference. This is one of the better ones. So glad I came. I'm trying to see. That's my next one. I'm so late. I'm trying to see a game in every division. Men's baseball venue. Been to all the minor leagues. Been to MLB. Seen some baseball in countries. And all the subcontinents. Close to finishing this, and so I'm up in this part of the country. This is actually the last weekend series for the Zags. So I'm glad I came. Not a bad day. I'll take it. So please become my friend on YouTube. Would you please? I need to get some YouTube friends here, folks. I mean, I should be posting more. I guess the rule is you got to post like every day. I don't have time to post every day. But please become my friend on YouTube. Or follow me on Instagram and Twitter. I don't tweet much. mrsportstravel.com, mrsportstravel.com. And on the Facebook, MISTER, MrSportsTravel.com is on the Facebook. Wings picked up. Hope you can still hear me. Both of your feedback, again, on the road for OperationFirstResponse.org. Many of you folks wondering, dude, like, how do you fund these trips? Never married, no kids, put all my income in rental properties, and I let my tenants pay for my trip. Thank you, tenants. Let's give a round of applause to my tenants. Thank you, tenants. Thank you, tenants. So that's how I fund my road trips. Believe me, if I had kids or an ex-wife, I wouldn't be doing these road trips. And I am an entrepreneur. I have my own business. You can Google it, as they say. But Mr. Sports Travel, ready to get back on the road. The next destination, Idaho for some baseball, and then Oregon for some baseball. Gonna hit a sporting event in each of the 50 states. I've already been to Hawaii. Aloha. Gonna do Alaska last, probably October, November for some hockey, football, maybe some hoops or volleyball. And that'll be the last of the 50 states, and I've already been to DC. So, hope you enjoyed the Evergreen State video. Made it through without the tripod getting knocked over. Light wind today. You want to see some wind, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my God. Watch the Minnesota video. Watch it Hampshire video. Live free or die when the tripod dies. Want to see some rain? Oh, mama. Watch the Mississippi video. In fact, that's the only video where I was not able to get the beautiful American flag mobile in all her glory in the camera frame while I shot the video, because I was only in Mississippi one night. And of course it was pouring rain. And you'll have to watch the video to see that. I'm just glad the camera didn't get floated off into the Gulf of Mexico, let's put it that way. Okay, so having a great time on the road. It's the 50 States Tour, parentheses, batshit crazy because of that wind and some of the weather. But boy, I think I'm being rewarded today. Beautiful day. Looking forward to your $50 donation to OperationFirstResponse.org, and then I will help you plan your sports road trip. Until then, it's Mr. Sports Travel signing off. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.